done. Intro. It's intro time. Shush. Everyone shut up. With that, we can jump into the next story. Got 2 more stories to get into. Let's jump into it. All right. Here we go. So, Snow White trailer blasted for former Disney Imagineer dubbed unwatchable. Blasted by former Disney engineer dubbed unwatchable. So we have the trailer for Snow White, and it actually is kind of a weird take on the trailer because it seems to be filmed inside of a theater. So Disney dropped a new trailer for Snow White like Thief in the Night, placed in front of Universal's surefire smash hit Wicked without adding it to online platforms like YouTube. So they put it in theaters in front of a movie before they published it on social media. That might be a good strategy to avoid that could be a good strategy. First off, you're marketing to your audience, letting them know that this is another movie that's coming out, and seeing what the reaction is from them, letting them see the trailer I guess untainted, getting untainted opinions on it versus like trailer reactions, and then letting everyone else see it on social media after the fact. So we got the trailer here. We're going to be reacting to it and checking it out. Let's jump right into it. Let me know if there's any audio issues, Matt, with this, and I'll do what I can.
Will do.
It's a fairness, like the Queen. Change everything. Take him away, Your Majesty.
What did you say?
The people need some kindness.
You know, I really don't remember you being this opinionated.
An opinionated woman. You guys heard it here first. This movie has an opinionated woman. Cancel it. It's woke. That can't be allowed. Sorry. We got to pause every few seconds because of copyright, but yeah, that's it's all fun. I don't know, that nothing immediately that stands out. Some people were like looking at this like, ooh, she's a girl boss, like looking at this specific first 15 seconds and saying, ooh, girl boss, she's opinionated, she's gonna be a problem child.
I think she looks goofy as hell right there.
Gal
That is
Gadot,
not a good costume.
yeah, Gal Gadot is not pulling that off. And you know what? Fair enough. What do I know about fashion? But she does look ridiculous.
Big mirror on the wall. Who is the fairest of them all?
It is not beauty, Majesty.
Okay.
Classic mirror.
Classic
That looks-
mirror. I thought that looked good. I thought the classic mirror looked good. I that was my initial thought. What did you think on that, on the mirror?
I think, like, obviously they could do better, but I think that they went with that classic look. Like, that looks like the old Snow White mirror from the 70s, the 60s, whenever that came out.
Yeah, the OG, the original movie. Well, the Snow White movie, I think. Oh my God, was it?
It might have been 50s, dude.
I think Snow White was the first animated feature film from Disney. I think it could be Snow White. I'm also getting mixed up with like Sleeping Beauty and a few other movies that could have been around that generation, but I think Snow White. I remember because I did a lot of research on like the origin of
37.
Wow, that was older than, I mean, that's when like Nickelodeons and stuff were out, like the Nickel movie.
There you go.
Damn, yeah, that is old. But okay, so I think I was right on this because I did a lot of research once upon a time about the history and origin of animation. So with like the Steamboat Willie clip, because I was trying to get to like an understanding of like where the divergence between animation and anime formulated. So like where was that divergence? Why is there such a strong belief that a cartoon is not anime? Like why is that belief so ingrained in people's minds? Why is like Avatar: The Last Airbender categorically not an anime? It's like it
I
is
thought it was a cultural thing. I thought anime was more like
Japanese.
Japan and whatnot, and then cartoon is like anything that's made in the Americas.
Well, and that's the most passionate argument I've heard from people who I talk to on this, is that anime is specific to Japanese. And I'm just like, okay, so there is a category of anime that's from China. There's a category of anime from Korea. Is this explicit now? Does that category broaden to now Asia? And why does it broaden to Asia if it does? Is anime exclusive to Japan, or are these other Asian countries involved? and why or why not. So I was looking at the history of it, and there was the origins, like the origins and like the earliest works on animation were, you had like early works of like flip cartoons in the United States, but it was also being developed in Japan. And it's, I need to reread my notes on this because it's been so long since I researched that. But Snow White was the first feature film, first animated feature film, which was and it's cool. Yeah, I think the quality of it was exactly what I think it met the expectations of everybody, or exceeded everyone's expectations. Probably showed up at theaters where people were like, "Whoa, that looks so good for a cartoon," which we've only seen like snippets of in the past. All right, we'll jump back in.
Maiden, I now behold.
You want to be.
Oof.
The queen is Eve, being flee into the woods.
March 21st, so it's coming soon. That's not long. I know that there was what's that?
Right around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, I know there was a lot of like discussion about this. So Rachel Zegler obviously recently got into hot water with her take on the election stuff, and got into hot water with that. And it sounded like she was pretty close to getting shit canned. But obviously, that the movie being like this done with the trailer, it looks like they probably have everything shot that they want to have shot. So I'm guessing they're long past that if they already have like a release date and everything's done. So, I'm guessing she's not in any hot water anymore. And I've also read articles that came out at the same time that her and Jon Favreau are working on getting her into another one-off project. So she's looking like she's gonna be around for a while. We'll have to wait and see. Keep going.
So I said this forest was a magical place.
The turtle. Did you see the turtle smiling?
Magical place.
Look at that
Place.
goofball. What's up? A lady. You've never seen a person before.
Everybody here?
Wow.
Classic shot.
Was that
Go
the?
across the log?
Hold on. Let me. Okay, I was looking at the three beds, and I was thinking, Goldilocks? Did I miss something? But then you see Sneezy, Happy, Drew, Dopey. Okay, so I get it.
Her laying across all of the beds.
Yep, classic. What is your take on the CGI so far? Obviously, we laughed at the turtle, but I mean, what is your take on like the environment, the setting, like how that stuff's being done in this first interaction?
I think so far, I like the personification of the animals versus like Lion King. There was no real like human traits to it.
Right.
So with them adding smiles and whatnot, that makes me feel like it's closer to the 1937 version versus, hey, we're going to make everything just a bird's going to look like a bird. A turtle's going to look like a turtle. There's nothing special about them at all.
I think that's a really good point, because you're right. That is paying homage to the original. Obviously, like the Disney's relationship with talking animals is pretty deep. And so you obviously require their faces, mouths to move differently in order for that to look good, which it historically has. Like it historically has always looked good. Now the modern versions of these movies, I think that's where we get into a lot of complaints about it. But yeah, you could make the argument it's bad CGI, but I think your argument that it pays homage to the original is probably a stronger argument. So we'll continue
Done
here.
purposely.
Yeah. Yep. This is what's sorry, I want to get to a good point to stop here. Okay, I want to get to a good point to stop here. This gives me Polar Express like PTSD. You've seen Polar Express?
Yes. These are dead eyes.
Yeah, these are very, very ugly. Like, I mean, okay, they're dwarves. I'm glad they went with the dwarves first off, because Disney was very reluctant to pull the trigger on this. I don't know if you remember when the original marketing material for the Snow White project was coming out, but you had the Snow White and the 7 diversity hires meme that was coming out. You had the released photos of the concept art for characters where it was just a super diverse and super like tokenistic like cast that they put in there. So it was really, really bad. It took them a minute to, and then you had Peter Dinklage who was coming out and actually arguing against the casting of dwarves as dwarves, or midgets as.
I thought
like,
he was
dwarves.
for it.
No, he's
And he was.
no, he's been one of the most avid anti that, which like the reason it probably sounds so wrong is because there's such a deep level of hypocrisy there, as he is the most famous like midget actor. Like he's the most famous, and yet he doesn't want these types of roles to exist. And so I'm like, you kind of are filling all of those roles. Like I mean, that's kind of like pulling the ladder up after you've already climbed. Kind of hypocrisy here.
I guess I was misunderstanding what he was saying, because I thought he was against them doing CGI for roles where there's real people that exist that want these jobs.
Well, keep in mind the CGI thing was real. The CGI dwarves is rather new to this conversation on Snow White. They did not decide to do that they only recently decided to do that. This was not the original version of the movie. Was going to be almost like a complete retelling that the fandom the audience just rebelled against and hated this, because they were just going to have like full-sized full-size people. You know what? In the comments, I'm sure I'm gonna get shit on because I'm not like choosing the correct words, but you know I'm making good effort, or making an honest effort at least. They were gonna have full-size people who were gonna be in the cast of the 7, like filling in the 7 dwarves, and they were just gonna go away with that. And then they were talking about bringing in actual people, actual dwarves, and Peter Dinklage had an opinion on that, saying he didn't want that type of oh my god, I'm sure I'm butchering this quote. My understanding from his interview was that he was opposed to the idea. That's about as 100% as I can get to it. So, and it's been a long time since that's come up, but the CGI dwarf thing was not, I don't think that was 100% until only a few months ago. So, and Peter Dinklage's comments date back to like the spring. So it's been a while. We'll, if we have time, we'll look back into that and see if we can come up with an answer before we end this segment, but let's keep going.
What did you think I was?
Nothing goes.
Okay, that was kind of funny.
You be safe from the queen here.
You stole everything from all of us.
I'm gonna need your help.
It's time to restore our kingdom.
Okay, hold on. There was a shot here. This shot I really liked. I really like this. This is I think this is really well done. I like the expressions on their faces. I like some of the characteristics I like that they each have a unique characteristic to them. I still think they have the dead eyes, and it reminds me of Polar Express. But I like
dolls.
Yeah,
like claymation here.
I do like this shot, like bringing in all of the dwarves together and making sure they're all visible and all kind of like their characteristics kind of shine here. If they are dolls in this shot, like if these are all just literally dolls, or if they're just CGI. If it's CGI, I'm more impressed. If they're dolls, a little less impressed. But I like the way they like shot this shot.
It's time to restore our kingdom.
So they're classic story.
Find Snow White.
Okay, I think wow, there's still so much here. What is your take on the costume design? Do you think I think they're doing a decent job with costume design until I saw the obviously Gal Gadot's costume does not look good on her. And when you had that shot of the townsfolk all dancing, I thought the townsfolk all looked really gimmicky and looked really bad. When it
I'm not hating on the costume design really, and I even want to say that evil queen's fucking costume is accurate to the. It's pretty accurate. I'm looking it up.
Well, okay, so look, I'm looking at this shot here with all these people in the crowd. It's really too colorful and fanciful. And I mean, for like the setting, like you are in like a medieval setting. Now, if I don't think like in the original Snow White they would have had this fanciful of coloring on any of their people. Like this just looks way too looks way too pastel-y and with way too much color. It looks like a freaking parade. It's so excessive.
This single frame right here. I might have brain rot, but all I can think of is Dulot is
Well, like,
a perfect place.
yes, yeah, Shrek was great. But I mean, like Snow White's outfits they fit her well. They look good on her. They look like they're made of the type of material that would be good. They look like they represent the original movie well. I think all of that. And then I zoom into this shot and I'm like, why green? Why is this guy wearing all green? Why is she wearing polka dots? Why is this guy wearing flannel? Like, what is going? Why is this guy wearing a chef's hat? Like, what is going on here? Like this is way too much. It's really crazy. And then you go back to the queen, and this is perfect. But I don't think this is what she was wearing in the original shots. Was she wearing like the?
I don't think she had the blue on.
Or or this this crown. I don't think they had this crown either. But this shot looks very good. This shot looks very good for Gal Gadot. I think actually fits a lot better. Let's keep going. We only have a few seconds left, so.
This is our kingdom, and now we're here to take it back.
You were saying.
I'm sorry, my dear. I frightened you.
I'm frightened. Okay, so I'm.
Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn, gnomes. Okay, so I would love to know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments. Please let us know your thoughts in the comments. Are we being too harsh on this? Are the changes that you're seeing in this actually on point with what you'd expect from a modern telling of Snow White? Are you expecting them to like honor the story? Because I saw a few things in here that, first off, Snow White at no point in this movie looked like she was ever asleep, and so she ever needed to be saved, or like in this trailer. I mean, not in the movie. We haven't seen the movie yet, but she didn't.
Sleeping Beauty.
Oh shit! Yeah, I got that backwards. Well, I got that backwards. Well, hold on. What was the poison? Wasn't she ate the poison apple, and then doesn't like her prince come and like, don't the dwarves go and get the prince and wake her up? Like you saw the poison
Dude,
apple.
I might be merging two separate stories. Yeah, I think that was to.
Well, what's the deal with the poison apple? Did I didn't watch the movie 100 years ago. I feel like this thing. I thought I thought there was some significance to the Prince Charming aspect here, but I know that in Sleeping Beauty, that's what it is. But in Snow White, I thought this apple was significant. But I could be wrong, and I am getting the I don't know. I'm mixed on this because
the same thing happens in Sleeping Beauty. Yep. So she eats the apple. She falls into an eternal sleep. Prince comes by, breaks the spell because he kisses her, thinking, "Oh, she's dead," and she's like, "Oh,
yes,
I'm not dead."
Okay, so I was on point at least. I mean, I didn't remember enough of the specifics to make the case, but I appreciate you fact checking me real time on this because the apple thing. She's never unconscious. You don't see like her and Prince Charming. They're kind of like just passing on screen every now and again just to remind you there is a Prince Charming, but he doesn't look to be important in any sense. This shot right here makes me incredibly nervous. It's like, are we gonna have like a girl boss rebellion right here? Like what is happening? This is probably the shot right before the queen becomes the dragon. And that's I think what this shot is. It's like time for rebellion, but then the queen becomes the bad person. So
I have a side question here.
Fire
with
away.
The prince.
Yeah.
Do you feel like he looked very, very similar to Wesley from Princess Bride? Like just his design, like his hairstyle and everything? Not necessarily there.
No,
There's a shot earlier where he's got like longer hair, shoulder shoulder length.
Right. I'm just gonna try my. Oh, okay.
Like right there. Like, is that his son? That looks almost dead on, like a youngified version of the dude that plays, what's his name? Harry Ellis.
Okay. I'm not seeing it, but I can understand it. Like this, like you called him a virgin, and I think that's pretty fair for a kids movie. I think that's pretty reasonable.
I said version.
I know.
younger
Version.
Version.
I'm just now we're just fucking around and having fun, but let's All right, so we did the reaction. I think there are definitely questions I have about the movie. I'm sure more trailers will release to give us some more insight before it releases. I think with Disney like having some successes with Inside Out 2, Moana next weekend is going to be game busters. That movie Moana is going to pull huge numbers, or the Moana sequel. Then obviously Disney made huge money back with Deadpool and Wolverine. Despite all of my frustrations with Disney and, you know, like their relationship with Star Wars, for example, they have basically with the financial successes from those movies, it looks like they're paying themselves back for all their failures. So I don't know. I'm hopeful that if this movie isn't going to be a faithful adaptation, that shines through and people see that for what it is. If it winds up being a faithful adaptation and Rachel Zegler winds up doing a good job, good. We want more good things on screen. We've had a few years where we've had so little to enjoy. So hopefully this is better than I'm expecting it to be, but I'm not optimistic. All right.
Same.
Yeah.